It's a beautiful sunny morning in Athens, Greece, 430 years before the birth of Christ. Thanks for tuning in. First, let's throw it over to Avanicus Genovis for an update on the war front.
Thanks, Kristaps. The Peloponnesian War rages on as the Spartans near our city walls and lay siege to us. Villagers fleeing the countryside have taken refuge in the city and, in an effort to provide lodging, city officials have placed them in cramped, hot cabins and shacks.
And gods know those conditions aren't ideal for preventing disease, which leads us into our top story, the Plague of Athens.
It's rumored to have originated in Africa, spreading from Ethiopia to Egypt and Libya before eventually entering Athens through our own port city, Piraeus. With cramped conditions and recent famine and drought, the unknown disease is laying waste to tens of thousands of Athenians. Among its victims are countless men, women, and even children.
And the plague's effects on the war effort have also been devastating. 1 in 4 soldiers have fallen to the plague, and the Athenian military strategy has been understandably passive. The outlook for victory is looking dim.
In a search for answers, Athenians have placed the blame on our honorable general and statesman, Pericles, for bringing war and disease upon us. In an address to the Acropolis earlier today, the general dismissed such accusations.
Boo! Boo! This is your fault, Pericles!
But you must not be seduced by citizens angry with me. In spite of the enemy having invaded your country and done what you could be certain he would do if you refused to comply with his demand. And although the plague has unexpectedly come upon us, the only point indeed at which our calculations had been at fault, it is this I know that has had a large share in making me more unpopular than I should otherwise have been. Quite undeservedly, unless you are also prepared to give me credit for any success at which chance may present you.
Sir, could you clarify that last point?
If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Also, the plague isn't my fault.
Boo! Boo!
Whew, those are some mad citizens, Kristaps. Aren't you glad you aren't up there? But now, for our continued coverage on the Plague of Athens. Unfortunately, all is not well in the rest of the heartland either.
The economy is down, medical treatments aren't working, and godliness is at an all-time low. With bloodletting just not working like it used to back in 500 BC, and churches promising cures they don't have, faith in the church is rapidly dwindling. Citizens are even doing away with traditional burial rites in favor of mass graves.
The possibility of death lurks everywhere, and people are taking matters into their own hands. Our sources tell us that many of Athens' own citizens have decided to withdraw their life savings, fearing that they'll die before they spend it. You can barely look around the Parthenon without seeing a litany of illicit activities.
What a shame, Avanicus. Even worse, though, is the direct impact of the disease itself. Everyone is afraid to be near anyone with the plague. But with more on that, we have our local expert, current plague sufferer, and future historian, Thucydides. Thanks for having me, guys.
So tell me, Thucydides, what are some of the symptoms people should be looking out for?
So some of the first signs you'll see are the inflamed eyes and a bloody throat and tongue that emit an unnatural and fetid breath.
Why does this plague seem so much worse than anything else we've seen before? Thousands are dying so quickly after being afflicted.
I mean, when the pain reaches the chest, you start coughing like crazy. When it hits the stomach, you start throwing up bile. Then you get these ulcers all over your skin, and even though you're not hot to the touch, you feel like you're burning on the inside. I mean, you don't even want to wear a toga. It's so bad you can't even sleep or rest. Most die in 7 or 8 days, but if you make it longer, you often get severe diarrhea, which can also kill you. Now, if you survive, a lot of times you have permanent memory loss or lose extremities or eyes.
By Zeus, that sounds miserable. In any case, thanks for your time, and now back to you in the studio, Avanicus.
And thanks for that wonderful footage from our on-the-ground reporter, Matthias Sipple. And now for... Wait. Yes, that is. I'm getting breaking news that we have live footage from an on-the-grounds physician's office. Yes, and this is live footage, I repeat. So if you have any young audience members at home, please cover their eyes, as this may be graphic.
Hey, Yorgos, what seems to be the problem?
Same thing everyone's got, Doc. Plague's doing a number on me.
Arm looks to be good. Face is a little yellow, but... little cough. Little sneeze, too. Well, you came to the right place. I trained under Hippocrates, so I practice evidence-based medicine. They used to believe all this was caused by the gods.
So what can you do for me?
What you've got is an imbalance of the four humors. Blood, black bile, yellow bile, and phlegm. So we need to bleed you a bit and see if that can restore balance.
Was there any hope for me?
Hope's a strong word.
That was a powerful scene with Dr. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Whatever the plague is, though, the death toll continues to rise. Our network sources tell us that, at this rate, the plague is expected to kill over 1/3 of the population before it runs its course.
Just heartbreaking, Kristaps. With all of the earthquakes and droughts we've been having lately, too, it just feels like everything's been setting the stage for such a calamity. Even the sky spells doom with its eclipses.
Don't forget the Spartans.
How could I, with all of the refugees we have crowded in our square? It's a regular breeding ground for Hades knows what. And with our general sick and the plague crippling our army, you have to think this war just isn't going our way.
Who knows, maybe it'll even set the stage for the eventual decline of democracy in Greece, allowing for a Macedonian general named Alexander to dominate from here to India, only to eventually lead to the greatest European empire of all time, founded in the city of Rome.
What?
And that's all the time we have today, folks. From all of us here at Alpha Beta Gamma News, Athens' best and only news station since 567 BC, we wish you all good health, good day, and Hermes speed.